My is Miss Shilpi Shah. It is my pleasure to introduce a dynamic leader with enterprise in PR, digital marketing, and business relation management. As a G100 Global Advisory Council member, founder of the live Wabi Sabi Life Blog, and an advocate for self-love, Shilpi empowers communities worldwide while amplifying the voices of global thought leaders. Welcome, welcome, Shilpi.
Thank you so much for having me here, Victoria. It's a pleasure to be here on your podcast.
And where are you calling in from today?
I am speaking from, Gujarat, Ahmedabad, India.
Awesome. How's the weather there today?
It's around, I guess, 21 degrees centigrade, not that cold, but yeah, it's winters over here. But
Nice.
Gujarat is a place in India where, temperature varies a lot. So night time temperature goes down a bit. Until it's around 15 or 11 degrees. And then during the mornings, it's around, like 25 or 26 degrees in January.
That's how it is here right now, so we're not too far off in temperature. We're having a lot of fires though in California. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to send a lot of love out to them and lots of prayers because we know that they're going through a lot of trauma themselves and trials, and just want to send a lot of love out to them. So, all right, so let's get into the meat of this. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you start out in your life as a little girl? Who was Miss Shilpi Shah?
Sure. So Shilpi, as a little girl, was very she had a lot of fear of stage when it comes to like speaking in front of people. I was really very afraid, and it was only because of my school teachers who always supported me, and they always said that the thing which you fear the most, you must do it in order to overcome your fears. So they always gave me these there was this prayer service at our school for every class, and for every prayer service, every each and every student had to speak some or other quotes. And teachers they used to say that you have to like memorize your quote and speak in front of your audience, and this is how you build your confidence, and this was mandatory for everyone. So I guess that practice, helped me to become the person, I am today. Yeah, so this is how Shilpi was in her school. Anything else? Shall I tell you about my, personal life as well, or is this okay?
Yeah, perfect. Any sort of trials you've been through, anything that you've overcome, so we know that you had your fear as a child and basically used a mantra or a prayer to get through that.
Yes, this stage fear was huge for me, and it was only because of my teachers, because of which I started speaking, and it was also my, parents. Let me give you a bit background about my parents. So my parents both are, from Allahabad University, and they both are, postgraduate in different disciplines, and they instilled this education should be your priority at any point any point in your life, education and learning. So this is what which I took a note of, and even today I am learning one thing or the another, because the kind of job I am in, it's related to technology, and with the invent of AI tools, you have to keep on learning. So this thing was also instilled during my childhood by my parents.
Yeah. And you have an MBA, is that right? Or BA?
Yes. Yeah.
And you went to school in India?
Yes.
And your religious background, what is that?
Yeah, I am I am Hindu, and we we have 33 crores, gods over here whom we, worship and celebrate every day. So, yeah, I mean, I have a very religious background, and I was born in Prayagraj. And if you, I don't know if people out there know about Prayagraj or not, but there is this, Mahakumbh happening in Prayagraj, and it happens after every, 12 years. So this year also, starting from like 13th Jan to 17th of February, there is this Mahakumbh at Prayagraj, India. And this is the time where, all the people throughout, throughout the world come to Prayagraj to take a holy dip in River Ganges. And let me tell you that River Ganges, that is the meeting point of, three rivers actually. It's called Sangam. And there are three rivers over from all over the world during Mahakumbh to, take a holy dip in River Ganges. So this is the kind of religious background which I have here in India.
I love Hindu. We had spoke about this a little bit before, but I got to train in the ashram with Sadhguru, and you love Sadhguru too, and you get to be even closer to the main ashram. But he is he's so spiritual. He knows so much. You could really feel the spirit in him. But I love so much that he teaches you about the different vibrations for each chakra and the
Mhm.
seed mantras and how to balance out your biorhythms and get yourself in tune with your true identity, with your true self, and learning how to speak the right mantras and how to align yourself with the moon and the stars. And I think that's so healing. And frequencies are so, so important to me. It's been part of my healing journey. And that's part of what I wrote my book off of. So it's so amazing that you get to experience the Hindu religion. Um, just everything you guys do is your food, you pray over it and give so much reverence to it. And one of the girls I still keep in contact with, she's so adorable during all of your festivities throughout the year. There's one, I think it was in October or November, where she had to go out and pray over her car and she put flowers on her car and a water that was blessed, and she gave reverence to it every day. And I think that's just so beautiful about your culture is that you give reverence to everything.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
and
and Hindu culture is really vast. And when we talk about culture over here, let me tell you that though I am Hindu, but I am married to a Jain, guy. And yeah, so Jain is also a part of Hindu religion, but Jainism is practiced in a different way. And there are many, things of Jainism which truly inspire me as a person. I mean, we have a principle of, eating before sunrise, eating before sunset. I mean, completing your food before sunset. So, I mean, this kind of practice, which is now, called intermittent fasting. This was adopted by, Jain culture way before, intermittent fasting was born. So, I mean, taking your food before sunset and then, starting your day with sunrise with a glass of water, and that too and eating again only after 2 or 3 hours. So I mean, this principle of detoxification of your body, this was way before born with Jain religion. I mean, when it comes to intermittent fasting. So yes, I'm loving the culture over here, and the vibes which I get through people over here.
and another thing that I love is when I went on my healing journey, it was seeking spirituality. It wasn't seeking um, more the Western doctor and science. It was more the Eastern. It seemed like it was just so much more in tune with spirituality and really giving reverence and thanks. but it's amazing how all that you guys have learned through spirituality is now being proven in science. You know, Western science has come to say, yes, in fact, eating this way, whether it's intermittent fasting or being a vegan, you know, so that you're eating to calm your nervous system down, somatic eating, drinking alkaline water, like that's stuff that you guys have learned through the spirit gave it to you. And now the science is coming in and studying and saying, this is in
Yeah.
fact very healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in your religion, you're very strong in your spirit, in your culture. And let's talk about your business a little bit. How did you get involved with the G100?
Oh, sure. So, let me start by telling you that I have a very, like unconventional career path actually. So, I started my journey as a geologist, and being a geologist was in itself, like a achievement because I mean, geology is the study of, things present inside Earth. So we used to have many kind of excursions, many kind of trips where we used to go and study the geological structures and everything. And that was the part of my life where I really wanted to be a, professor in geology. I mean, in and out, that was only my goal. But then, love entered my life quite early when I was in my early college days. And then things changed around me, and I got married, I had a son, and then I had to like drop down my this dream of becoming a professor in geology. And then I became a teacher. I mean, I did my B.Ed. Then I mean, this B.Ed thing came from my parents that if you are not able to pursue a career in geology, then at least do B.Ed, and like start teaching at least, so that you can take care of your home as well as your career. So I did my B.Ed, I became a teacher, and then I started my journey as a content writer. I shifted to content writing, and then eventually I dived into digital marketing from Digital Vidya. So things, I mean, these are some of the unconventional career paths which I took in my life, just in order to like stay with the industry and take care of my family as well. And so I mean, my journey continued with being like PR, I mean, into PR, and then media relations, and then finally into MBA, into like HR. And this journey, I guess exemplifies resilience and curiosity and power of embracing every opportunity to grow. And then like G100 came into my life. And it was only through the interviews which I do from, Fuchsia. It was only through the interviews I was meeting these women who are from G100. And each and every woman, they were sharing, like, I mean, the kind of work they were doing at G100 and what G100 is all about. And I was so, like intrigued about G100 that I kept on asking, with various people. I tried to, like gather information from various resources that what they are up to and what they are doing. And when, like when I came to know about G100, that it is a community and it is an empowered, global network of 100 women leaders who are, working across 100 sectors to advocate for gender equality, impactful change, then collaborating, with these league of luminaries, including Nobel laureates, policymakers, business leaders. So I mean, when I came to know all about this, then I immediately, became a part of G100. And like there was this, I mean, invite from Frankie, and she was also part of G100. And then Dr. Harbin Arora Rai herself, who is the founder of G100. And then I joined their community, and since then, like, I try to contribute to powerful dialogues and initiatives that advance equity and inclusion worldwide. And let me tell you that together we work to, dismantle barriers, foster leadership, and champion a gender equal future. So this is how, like, I got into G100. It was through various steps, because when you are into something, when you are doing something globally, then only you are able to, like, integrate yourself into this G100 community.
Amazing. So how would somebody here in the United States become involved with that?
Why no, well, sure. I mean, generally we send these invite, but they need to, like, check out the website basically. And then there are, like, show your interest, maybe email to Dr. Harbin herself, and share your profile. And if your profile is, like, if your profile, instigates something or inspires her, then definitely you can be a member of G100.
Is there a cost annually for that?
Uh, for becoming a member, or I don't think there is any cost. And the only thing is, if you are, attending some kind of events, then only I guess there are some costs which are very, reasonable as well. So I mean, there isn't any cost to become a member. It's just the events, in order to, like, make it accessible for everyone out there.
Nice. Now, have you written a book or do you have online programs?
Sorry.
Have you written a book about what you do, or do you have any online programs?
Yes, we have many online programs. Actually, we keep on doing these virtual, I guess, these meetups and workshops, where the our main motive is networking actually. So I mean, this is done every quarter, and we try to, like, we try to invite as many women leaders as we can, so that we can network and, like, know about each other and benefit from each other's work. So this is the thing which we are doing every quarter. These are the virtual events, and we keep on promoting it everywhere. And this year's event is scheduled in, March. First quarter event is scheduled in March, last week of March. So maybe I can share the invites with everyone.
Yeah, I would love that. Can you put it in the chat, or would you like us to drop it afterwards?
Oh, I will share it afterwards, because links are yet to be generated. But I mean, it can be shared later.
Okay, that'd be great. So, you're married and you have how many children?
I have two sons.
Two sons. How old are they?
One is 22 years old, and one is just 11 years old.
Oh, and what is your 32-year-old as, skilled and knowledgeable as you?
Yeah, he has done his, he's a software engineer now. He has just completed his BTech in CS, computer science.
Very nice. Very nice. Is he part of the G100 group as well?
No, no, he's yet a student. I mean, his degree is yet to come. And so he isn't part of G100 yet. But yeah, I mean, later on, maybe he plans, because I don't take decisions on his behalf. So he himself will, like, try to figure out everything and do on his own.
You had a very, very inspiring life. What kind of traumas have you had in your life that you've had to overcome?
Yeah, so as a young girl, the trauma which I faced was, this kind of it was a kind of abuse which generally girls are face when they are alone. So I think overcoming that trauma was really hard for me, because I mean, we were just two sisters. And sometimes abuse comes in form of words, which which are, like, I guess words are more sharper than a knife, and they slit you apart. But yes, I was able to, overcome that, because of my supportive parents, because they were there to, like, heal us in every way out there, and it was the only support available to us then, because at that time I mean, society was not that aware, and people were not talking about all these things, like in a I mean, everything was private earlier. Nowadays we are talking so much about different kinds of traumas, just as we are doing over here. Otherwise, but earlier it was not. I mean, I'm talking about 2000, when it was around 2000, and people were not talking so much about traumas. So it was only my parents, through which I was able to like gain my confidence.
That's amazing. Now, what kind of things did they do to help you with your trauma?
They helped me, with everything. Like I mean, this the first thing they did was, they said that, we are with you. I mean, if there is any problem with you, we are with you. We are here to listen to you. You can share everything with us, and I am with you, and I will stand for you. So this was the best part, because I think if parents understand, and they just they just try to motivate you and be there for you, this is the best thing a parent can do for their children. So this was the thing which my father and mother both they did for me. And they also respected my decision. They said that, okay, whenever you are ready, you just let us know, and then we could maybe help you. They didn't force me that what happened and what not, but they just they just stood by me. That was the only thing which helped me to come out through that.
That is so important too, because there is so many people that don't have the support and they get very lost and get stuck in their trauma.
Yes, yes. It's the duty of, parents to be there for your children. So I always, say this, that I mean, at least being there with your children, listening to them. Just don't provide any kind of advice. Advice may or may not be required, but at least if you are listening to them properly, and then patting on their, on their shoulder, and telling them that we are with you. I mean, this thing gives you so much of confidence. And treating each other, like I mean, in a good way, not like scolding or anything, just being there, listening to them, and being a kind of a strong support in each and everything. So this is the best thing parent can do for anyone. Any parent can do for their children.
So many children have the parents are the ones that are abusing them.
Yes, yes,
And then they
yes.
have that it develops into like a CPTSD later on in life, and then they have that adult trauma, and that is very challenging to work through when you don't have that early support.
Yes, this is quite a challenging part, and I think if we have our friends, or if we have our teachers over there, we need to talk about this. I mean, whenever it comes to parents themselves abusing, then I mean, where does the child go? So I mean, this is very I mean. A situation where child is lost totally, and as you said that it leads into adult trauma as well. So I would suggest, maybe if they have friends, if they have anyone who could with whom they could talk, because talking is something you get, you may or may not get any kind of advice, but at least you are putting out your thoughts over there. And as and something happens when you keep on talking, when you keep on like I mean, letting go things, and try to connect with people. Then you get many kind of solutions. You develop solutions in your mind itself. So I mean, it's really hard, but we have to do this.
So many people don't have they may have one parent that supports them and maybe the other parent doesn't, and
Mm.
they have to teeter back and forth, and maybe the one parent that was supporting them dies before the other parent, and they don't have the friends, and they become isolated, and then it develops into mental health problems, physical
Yes,
problems,
absolutely.
drugs, covering up your pain, self-sabotaging. What would you recommend for something like that?
for self-sabotaging thoughts, when it comes to me, I mean, as a self-love advocate, I keep on, putting out content over there in order to, inspire people to accept yourself. I generally provide, these self-love insights in fun ways. And I just want, people out there that, even if you are having self-sabotaging thoughts, let that moment pass, by thinking and by letting that moment pass. You generally, develop a kind of wisdom with which you can, save yourself. So whenever it comes to self-sabotaging thoughts, I just want everyone out there to, to take a moment to pass, to let that moment pass, because things happen in, in moments. Things happen in moments. And if we can just, be mindful and stop ourselves at that time and let that moment pass, then maybe, many of us could, save ourselves from difficult situations. This is what I have, I have experienced in my life. So anyone having, self-sabotaging thoughts, I would really suggest that let that moment pass.
And what tools would you say they could use for letting that pass? Because so much of the time they have lost their self-worth. So they're not even in a mental state that they can let that pass. What would you recommend there?
Yes, it's really hard, to let that moment pass. But being mindful is the only thing which can save you. And nowadays, I guess, social media is doing its job really well. Though there are, many distractions as well, but if you are focused, if you can think about law of attraction, if you can think about manifestations, if you can, look around for positivity, then then things get easier. So it's only how you, how you treat yourself, how you teach yourself, and then take decisions for yourself. So it's a process, Victoria. It isn't, it isn't a decision that could be taken in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's a process which we need to develop, in ourselves, since we are, child, since we are being brought up. It's the duty of parents to be there for children, and help them in gaining confidence in any way. So I don't say that it can happen in 1 minute, or it can happen in 10 days, but it's a process which we, every one of us, needs to develop in ourselves, inside of ourselves. So I do not have, any kind of suggestion for people, for any immediate, results. But yes, I would say, I would suggest that if you develop a habit of reading, surrounding yourself with positive people, and staying motivated in, every kind of situation, then only, then only it works. Otherwise, it won't.
Yeah, thank you. I also am, because my son was shot, and today is his 56th-month anniversary. So I just want to kind of lift that up for a moment for him.
Yeah.
But he was shot, and I see other people getting shot, and I'm trying to say, what can I do? Like, how can I help these people? Because there was a quick decision to pull a trigger, but what happened up to that? Like, where was the mindset? Where was the emotions of these people that put them into a state where they could actually pull a trigger and kill somebody? And
Mhm.
I think this bridge needs to be, there's a gap there. And we got to bridge it somehow. But the way we're brought up, the lack of love or too much love and entitlement can throw us off. Um,
Mhm.
Getting into a bad marriage, getting into a relationship with somebody who doesn't treat you well can throw you off. How do we fix this? This has become such an epidemic where people have snap decisions They don't think, it's a snap decision. And that's where I want to come in and try to help people. But there's such a gap there, and it's going to be a slow process to get it to shift. Even with the homeless situation, there's so many homeless people. Well, now they're not eating right. You can't get their mindset right. They feel less of human, they don't feel worthy at all. And they start getting down on themselves. And it's like, then how do we bring them back out of that? Where are the steps? Because right now, I think as a nation, we're failing in that area.
Mm.
I've even thought we're in the Worthy Book Club with Jamie Kern Lima, and the book is just amazing. And I thought maybe I could even go and start reading the book on the streets sometime, in a park when it warms up or whatever. And there's just continue to read it where I can maybe start helping people to change their mindset and start feeling worthy and give them proper food, not canned food and stuff that's breaking their mindset down. Give them a shower so they feel worthy, so that, we give them something to help them, because we've got to do something. But there's such a gap right now. And I think so many of us are trying to figure out how to fix that. What would be the first thing you would do in that situation?
Victoria, I totally understand and I empathize with people like these. But I mean, what I feel is, I mean, unless you are trying to change your life, nobody else out there can do it. So what I feel is, though I know there are many homeless people out there, I know people who are there who are not able to get food every day on their plate. But if they are willing to stay like that, then I mean, though there are people like you who are helping them, but I think the first thing which any person should do is help themselves from coming out that mindset, help themselves to trying to earn, trying to think ways of stopping their trauma, and taking a different path. Because until unless you yourself are ready to change things around you, then I mean, it's very difficult for other people out there who can change things for you. Maybe you can give them food for 5 days or maybe for a month, but then I mean, they have to work on themselves. So it's about inner engineering. I mean, which Sadhguru also says that everything is about inner engineering. How you transform your thoughts, how you transform your life. So I mean, whenever it comes to things like these, I would like to spread awareness around for people out there, that I mean, first of all, change yourself, change your mindset, try to change things around yourself, because there are people who will come to help you, but no one can help you until unless you help yourself. So I would say that help yourself, take charge of your life, and change things around you. And there are so many examples of people who are doing this out there. So I mean, being you, being Victoria, I mean, who is there to already help people, they can take a start, but then they have to jump further and take charge of their lives. This is what what I try to I mean, instigate in people.
I love that. Thank you. Now, do you guys have the unhoused situation over there in India like we do here?
Yes, yes, for sure. There are so many people, and there are so many examples also from which like you see that entrepreneurship is I think in India entrepreneurship is I guess it's progressing so fast, and people are trying to change their own lives. Still, there are people who are living in similar situations, but there are examples of people who are trying to change their own lives, trying to take charge of their own lives. So everywhere, I mean, across world, there are I mean, there are different kinds of people. There are people who are homeless, but there are people who took charge of their life, and like changed things around them and for their country and for other people as well. So yeah, we have people like this over here.
It's so nice to be able to talk to people from all over the world because,
Yes. You
see,
get to know about the different ethnicities, different cultures.
exactly. All right, so let's shift gears just a little bit. Can you
Mhm.
tell me, mindset is so important and you're so grounded and your spirituality is so good. What is your eating habits? Are you vegan? Are you vegetarian? What are your eating habits?
Okay, so I am vegan. I am totally vegetarian. And when it comes to my eating habits, I I take like almond milk. I don't take any milk products, milk and milk products. And I and sugar is I mean yeah, I take only it in form of jaggery. I don't take sugar as well. And when it comes to fruits, so I have one apple every day, as it's always said that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So I take that. And then there is this goodness of beetroot and carrots and tomatoes. So I usually I take juice of these things every day. I mean, it's my everyday routine, having a apple cider vinegar at empty stomach, then having this vegetable juice, then having broccoli and drumsticks in any form, in form of, maybe in form of soup or something, but I usually do have it. Then I have almond milk. And then when it comes to my lunch, I mean it generally I take a huge amount of lunch when it comes to lunch, because lunch is my favorite meal of the day. And then I have my green tea. And after 6:30 p.m. I generally do not eat, and this habit I have inculcated in myself after marrying to my husband, because he's a Jan. And as I said earlier, that we do not consume food after sunset. So this habit I have inculcated from him. So after almost 6 or 6:30, I stop eating. And the best part of my of my routine is I exercise daily 1 hour. I mean, and it includes different kinds of exercise. It could be plank, it could be yoga poses. And there are different kinds of exercise which I have set for myself, and I do it regularly for an hour. I mean, for at least 5 days in a week. So these are the kind of habits which I have inculcated over years. I don't say that I have done this in a day. I mean, it took me almost 5 to 6 years to, to become the woman I am today.
That's so awesome. You're so beautiful too. You shine. Your spirit is just so beautiful and it really radiates through you.
Thank you so much. So are you, Victoria. So are you.
I learned so much after I had my death experience in 2019. I came back and I couldn't eat meat anymore. And I wasn't a big meat eater before, but I would eat it. And then I started learning the science and the spirituality behind it, and through trauma, somatic eating, when you eat the meat of another animal that has nerves, it can overwhelm your senses, overstimulate your central nervous system. So I did learn that it was a calling upon me not to eat meat because I was going to experience my son's death, which I saw when I had my death experience the year before my son died. And so I think that really helped me a lot, not eating meat, because now I'm in groups of other women and they talk about how their nervous system is so overwhelmed by their children's death and they haven't changed their eating habits, but they say when they eat, they get really sick, so they're not wanting to eat. And so I'm trying to guide them a little bit and give them that somatic food, through veganism, through wholesome food, plant-based foods, so it calms their nervous system down. But it also is very good for high intelligence
Mhm.
because your body having to work through all that meat, it also makes your brain overexhausted. And so then you can't do your tasks. So I find that so many people that really have high intelligence are either vegan or vegetarian. and they've stayed away from the animal products. Do you find that to be true?
Yeah, see, I mean, I have always been a vegan, Victoria. I mean, since my childhood, so I do not have any that kind of experience. But yeah, I mean, I guess there are some proteins which could be taken only from animal products, though there are now so many plant products also available. So, I mean, I have no idea about this of not being vegan and give advice on something. But yes, I mean, being vegan is something I truly admire, because I somewhere I do not know whether I should say this or not, but somewhere I feel that at least I'm not hurting anyone out there. I do not know why, but I mean, this is one thing which always keeps me like vegan, that at least I'm not hurting somebody out there. I mean, be it any soul out there. So this is the only thing which I would say on this.
Yeah, that's how I feel now too. It's like before I didn't think about it because we grew up in a farming community and you really
Mhm.
didn't think about it. That was our upbringing. But now it's like, oh my gosh, I can't hurt an animal. Like they're my friends and they have a soul and I don't want to hurt.
Yeah.
I have a whole different view on it now. All right. What is one thing that you would change if you had an age to go back to? What is one piece of advice or something you would change at what age in your life?
Okay, so yeah, as I said, that love entered earlier into my life, and I got married, and then I, shifted careers in order to, balance everything. So, if I have to give advice to myself, then I would, suggest that go back to, I mean, to your college days. I mean, love is something which is very important for life, and do love and get married, but don't compromise with your career. I mean, everything can be managed, and I mean, you can have a family, you can have a successful career as well. So I would suggest myself that instead of like shifting careers, though I mean, I do not regret, because now I mean, I have been like changing paths and trying to be on track, and like I mean, being present with family, and for my career as well. But if I have to advise, then I would suggest that don't compromise. And I mean, you can manage everything. You can have it all. This is one thing which I would suggest to my younger self, that you can have it all. You don't need to, like shift careers or something. You can have everything, whatever you want in your life. So I mean, don't compromise, and at least try, and stick to your things, and stick to your like imaginations, and you will definitely succeed.
Beautiful. Great advice.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we end, what is one piece of advice you would give to the world to make a global impact on our love language?
Mhm. See, on our love language. So, you know what? I generally try to, inspire and empower and connect with people across globe, and sharing this message of, resilience, then acceptance and purpose. So, if I have to give advice, I mean, when it comes to global audience, I would suggest that I mean, spread awareness as much as you can, and talk about things which are not talked about. So we need to like communication is something with which we don't have to go through the same trauma. We can learn through others mistakes, we can learn through other stories, we can have different kind of experiences. So I would suggest communicate as much as you can. And just as we are communicating through this podcast, then I think there should be n number of people like you out there, who could do the same thing, to the world, talking with different people, communicating, networking, and sharing stories, sharing experiences, and getting benefited from each other.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. So Amy, if you could come on, I want to give a thank you to my assistant here, Amy. She's always working diligently in the background. Amy's Wagonbaum. She is from Canada, and she is my trusty little assistant. And she also has some programs that we'll be putting in the chat where you can get on for Go High Level. So she's running that now. And I just want to leave a message with our audience that you are worthy, you are enough, and you can grow through your grief. So I'm lifting you all up today. Thank you for being here, Shilpi, Amy, on Ride with Victoria One Mom's Memorial Ride. Today is Cody's 56th month anniversary, so many blessings to my baby. All those mothers out there who've lost their children, anyone who has lost a loved one or is about to lose somebody, just sending you so much love and light. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you.
Let me stop the recording.